Toxic water streamed with gold, like the belly of a churning fish. Sunset over Newtown Creek. Tattered pinkish black clouds flew overhead in the March wind. The water below me rippled with tendons and cowlicks. Just across the brief waterway were the low, mute banks of Hunter's Point, church spire, low-slung old warehouses. An empty barge made its way down the creek toward the East River and the long, glittering, skyscrapery aisle. I stood behind the chain-link fence the city had slapped up to keep the likes of me from jumping in. I was hungry and in need of a bath and a drink. At my back thronged the dark ghosts of Greenpoint, feeding silently off the underwater lake of spilled oil that lay under it all, the polyfluorocarbons from the industrial warehouses. I had named this place the end of the world years ago, when it was an even more polluted, hopeless wasteland, but it still fit. As I stood staring out through the webbing of fence, my mind cast itself through the rivulets of my own lost verse. I netted little flashes of lines and phrases I'd been reworking. Held spellbound, your mollusk voice quietly swathing my cochlea in tentacles of damask cloth, and slow-weathered vertebrae of our once bronzed thighs, but they sounded dead to me now. All I could really hear was lose, 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 like the feeble pulsing signals of a dying heart. Heartache was a physical thing, a pain in my chest, a sort of recoiling tension with an ache like a bruise. There was a withheld quality to my breathing lately, as if I had been sucker punched and was waiting to get my wind back, but no wind came. I could remember whole published poems, but if these new destroyed verses still existed in my brain, they fled from the webbing of my memory like darting schools of tiny fish, scooching away the instant before capture. I turned away from this butt end of waterfront warehouses and walked back the way I'd come, along Manhattan Avenue, past the flop house where I live now, bare mattresses piled in the front window. I passed junk shops full of old radios, used dolls and cowboy shirts, Gold Shola and Garfinkel Inc., Mexican bodegas, liquor stores, the abandoned hulk of J.K. Restaurant Supply with its twisted metal grate, small markets with root vegetables in boxes along the sidewalk, butcher shops festooned with loops of kielbasi. I went through the intersection at Greenpoint Avenue, the dingy McDonald's, defeated Starbucks, opposing Arab newsstands, and on to the old Associated Supermarket with its sexy Polish girls pouting at nothing as they rang up your groceries. The outdoor clock at the Smolensky Funeral Home was permanently stopped at 6:30, both hands pointing straight down to hell. That's the beginning. It gets worse.